Something serious happened at Britain's largest RAF base, and it's triggered a response we don't see often. It began with a video, then came the political backlash, and now counter-terrorism police have stepped in. This isn't just a protest gone too far. It's now being treated as a national security threat. Here's what we know so far, but first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more. What started as a shocking act of vandalism at a major British military base has now escalated into a national security investigation. Counter-terrorism police have officially taken over the inquiry into the breach at RAF Brize Norton, following the release of footage showing activists from Palestine Action inside the base, allegedly damaging 2 military aircraft. In the early hours of the morning, footage surfaced online showing individuals from the protest group entering the RAF site, spraying red paint, and claiming to have decommissioned 2 aircraft. The group accused the UK of being, in their words, an active participant in genocide and war crimes across the Middle East. Their actions triggered immediate backlash, and now an elite police unit is involved. Later the same day, Counterterrorism Policing Southeast, CTPSE, released an official statement confirming it had assumed leadership of the investigation. This is no longer being treated as routine criminal damage. It's now under the scrutiny of Britain's counter-terror specialists. A Thames Valley Police spokesperson confirmed, an incident at RAF Brize Norton in Oxfordshire is now being investigated by officers from Counterterrorism Policing Southeast. In the early hours of today, offenders gained entry to the site and caused criminal damage to aircraft. The statement continued. Specialist counter-terrorism officers are working closely with officers from Thames Valley Police and the Ministry of Defence Police. Enquiries are ongoing to establish the exact circumstances. Police are now appealing for information from the public and are asking anyone who may have seen anything relevant to call 101, quoting reference 43250305575. The involvement of counter-terror teams underscores the seriousness of the breach. RAF Brize Norton is not just any airbase. It's the largest station in the Royal Air Force and a key logistics hub for UK military operations in the Middle East, including flights to RAF Akrotiri in Cyprus, which plays a vital role in surveillance and regional support missions. The political backlash was immediate. Senior figures are now calling for Palestine Action to be banned entirely as a group. Shadow Justice Secretary Robert Jenrick issued a direct message to Prime Minister Keir Starmer saying, "You are the Prime Minister, do something. Ban Palestine Action. Investigate the security breach." And it wasn't just the opposition. Reform UK leader and MP for Clacton, Nigel Farage, also responded swiftly, posting on social media, "Palestine Action must be prescribed as a terrorist organisation after the attack on RAF planes at Brize Norton." Farage's comment signals growing calls to classify the group as an extremist organisation, something that would allow the government to seize assets, restrict operations, and prosecute members under terrorism legislation. Whether that step is taken remains to be seen, but pressure is clearly building. Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer has now commented on the breach, describing the incident simply as disgraceful and condemning it as an act of vandalism. Meanwhile, Kemi Badenoch, leader of the Conservative Party and a key figure in the opposition, took a harder line saying, "The activists responsible should face the full force of the law." So far, the government has not confirmed whether they are considering banning Palestine Action, but the rhetoric from senior figures suggests that discussions are likely already underway behind the scenes. In their own words, Palestine Action claimed responsibility for the breach and justified their actions by linking them directly to the ongoing conflict in Gaza. In a public statement, the group said, "Despite publicly condemning the Israeli government, Britain continues to send military cargo, fly spy planes over Gaza, and refuel US-Israeli fighter jets." They went on to say, "Britain isn't just complicit, it's an active participant in the Gaza genocide and war crimes across the Middle East. By decommissioning 2 military planes, Palestine Action have directly intervened to break the chains of oppression. This isn't the first time the group has targeted military or defense-related infrastructure, but it is by far their most high-profile and disruptive action to date.
A Ministry of Defence spokesperson also released a statement reiterating the government's position on the value and role of the UK's armed forces. The spokesperson said, "Our armed forces represent the very best of Britain. They put their lives on the line for us, and their display of duty, dedication, and selfless personal sacrifice are an inspiration to us all. It is our responsibility to support those who defend us." That statement echoes the broader sentiment across Westminster that whatever one's views on foreign policy, targeting military aircraft at a secure RAF base crosses a very clear line. With counter-terrorism police now leading the investigation and political pressure mounting to take further action, the RAF Brize Norton breach has rapidly transformed from an activist stunt into a serious national security incident. The coming days will likely determine whether Palestine action faces criminal prosecution, legal restrictions, or even a formal ban as a proscribed organization. What's clear for now is that the breach has exposed deep vulnerabilities, not just in military-based security, but in the way the UK handles escalating domestic activism linked to foreign policy. This story is still developing, and we'll keep you updated with every twist.
In other news, Reform UK's Tom Seston secured a commanding victory in yesterday's Eastfield by-election, capturing 62.7% of the vote and dealing a significant blow to Labour. The newly elected councillor won 538 votes, whilst Labour's Hazel Ann Smith managed just 121 votes in what was expected to be a competitive contest. Speaking recently, Seston attributed his success to running a positive campaign that focused on local concerns, particularly housing issues and failed regeneration schemes in the area. Tom Seston said, "I ran this election on a positive campaign. I focused on local issues, particularly housing, and highlighted some of the failed regeneration schemes in the area. I made an effort to get out and speak to as many people as possible." In contrast, the Labour Party, who assumed they would easily retake this seat, ran a very negative campaign. They didn't have much to say, and their candidate was reportedly quite combative on the doorstep. It didn't do them any favours, and nationally, they're not helping themselves either. On May 2nd, Scarborough saw 11 out of 15 council seats go to Reform. Clearly, something is happening here. As we discussed earlier, a major issue is housing, specifically ensuring local housing for local people. Scarborough, like Blackpool and many other seaside towns, has become a dumping ground for social problems, asylum seekers, individuals with drug problems, and ex-prisoners. This is causing real concern in the community. Scarborough has many old Victorian townhouses which were converted into B&Bs, or small hotels in the 60s and 70s. As domestic tourism declined, these buildings were turned into HMOs, or low-end flats. Now, companies are buying them up and contracting with the Home Office and probation services. We're also seeing people housed here from other parts of North Yorkshire. It's tough for local people who need social housing and just want a fair chance. This is a pattern we're seeing across the UK's coastal towns. Locals feel ignored. They want to be heard, housed, and treated fairly. Seston added that Labour's campaign style didn't do them any favours, and nationally, they're not helping themselves either. The by-election, triggered by the resignation of former councillor Tony Randerson, saw a turnout of 16.64%, with 862 votes cast from an electorate of 5,181. Seston used Eastfield's neglected town centre as a symbol of how coastal communities have been abandoned by authorities. The phrase "left behind" gets used a lot, but in places like Eastfield, it's reality. He described Eastfield as a council housing estate just outside Scarborough, officially classified as a town, where the town centre consists of just a shopping precinct. It's the clearest example of neglect. On the precinct, there are 2 large brick planters that should be filled with flowers. Instead, the council has abandoned them. They're overgrown with nettles and weeds, and one has a large section of bricks missing, Seston explained. He concluded, that sums up what left behind really means. What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you have not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.